All right, welcome to the show. We love talking technology. We know that we love it when it changes things from a social perspective. Welcome to Tech for Change. I've got a very exciting guest on this little edition of the show. It's basically very cool when you look at, well, apart from financing, how MSMEs have grown over the years, right? There's a challenge in finding a single solution for their different needs, right from accounting to generating GST reports and so much more. But what I also come to realize is that this is a largely, or rather has been a largely unstructured area that is trying to get structured now using technology. And if the question of digitizing a lot of different aspects for MSMEs ever comes up, you'll definitely hear the name Imprezz in the same breath, hopefully a lot in the future as well, right? I am so thrilled to be speaking with the CEO down there, and Amit is joining us on the little chat for this little edition of Tech for Change. Amit, good to have you, man. You look like you're traveling, so you look like you're joining me from a hotel room.
Yes. Hi, Kay. First and foremost, thank you very much for having me on the show. And yes, I'm traveling quite extensively these days. So, shuttling between India, that is Bangalore, Mumbai, and Germany as of
Germany,
now. Yeah.
yeah.
So, hotels have become like my third home.
Of course, you guys are part of a Germany-based Buhl Group, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yes.
and and what you guys do is awesome. But what is the most striking feature for me is that you're Bangalore-based, so you guys are a little closer to my heart. You know what I mean? It makes me extremely happy to see something like this. But I want to talk about the larger problem. Let's start there with MSMEs in the country, Amit. What do you see as the glaring issues that we are facing as a country with regards to MSMEs that really need some attention? Maybe if you could name for me the top three.
CK, with today's change in business dynamics and the way business is moving, not just at the grassroots level, but at the top levels also, right from government initiatives to any kind of transactions that we do, it is more moving closer and closer towards getting to a complete digital economy. We started with the payment gateways. The government is putting in a lot of thrust apart from the payment gateways. Plus, digitization has also brought in a lot of ease of doing business.
Mm, mm.
Now, the larger part of the problem is all of these ease of doing business is constrained or manufactured towards the top segment of the business units. So largely the MSMEs have been left behind. Now, MSMEs are not averse to doing digital business. It's just like there's nothing, or majority of the things are not available for them. And that's the reason that they're lagging behind. Otherwise, like even if you talk about large scale corporations, they started as MSMEs and they have reached
Yeah,
where they are right now.
I was just thinking that as you said it, in fact. So, I mean, you really beat me to it. Like every company, which are the larger ones today, were once upon a time MSMEs. So well said. But from a perspective of, India, problems that you see in India that you might not see across the world, do you have any inputs for me on that?
So I have three larger, probably, I would not call it as a problem, but these are areas of concern that we collectively, companies who are
Sure,
into this field, should start addressing to.
sure.
So one is, what's the difference between a larger organization and an MSME? It's the collection of data or how the data is analyzed.
And
Larger
processed.
companies have a larger BI tool to analyze the data and all. So it's basically MSMEs work with a multiple software. What in our research I found out that at least 3 to 4 different type of softwares are being used, right from Microsoft Word to emailing softwares to some invoicing and accounting tool and all of that. Now these applications do not talk to each other. Now when I talk about accounting, does not a lot of times talk to payroll. Banking is a bit different. So you again need either a manual intervention or you need another digital software to bring all of this together. Now, that's one of the problems. Okay, there's a lot of data overflow, I would say, in the sense that these softwares which are available for MSMEs are scattered.
Okay.
They are not asynchronized.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So
So
a lot
I'm
of
using
MSMEs
one
do not even
software for
know.
something and I'm using another software for something, but these softwares are not talking to each other and making life easy for
That's
me.
one of the problem. That's one of the problems. Second problem is a lot of MSMEs do not even know that these kind of softwares are available for them.
Ha.
So the discoverability factor is not there.
Got it.
And third is even if these softwares are available, they're out of the reach for the common MSMEs.
Because of price
And
point, are
that's
we
why,
saying? Is that the reason?
because of the price point, because of the availability, someone said it's too expensive, I have one, move ahead, or things of those kind of sorts. So the availability, the price points, to a great extent, this sector has been largely not looked upon, is what I would say.
I want to ask you with regards to what you guys are trying to solve, right? Uh, Talk to me through the how do I say this? Talk to me through the problem that you saw and how you decided, hey, we're going to solve this.
See, one of the problems that we realize that every business has is it needs to make money, irrespective whether it's an MSME or a large scale organization.
Right.
They start making money when they start selling goods.
Yeah.
To sell their goods or to receive money, they need to create invoices or receipts.
Right.
We had a very, very robust invoicing platform, which we realized the business potential and made it free for the entire masses to use.
Mm.
The entire invoicing platform that we have is completely free for any kind of a user coming across, and this is a lifetime thing. So it's not that suddenly we'll tomorrow change the factor that it was 1 year free or something. So we are encouraging businesses to come onto a platform, start digitization of their invoices and all.
Right.
And in that same breath, what we also did was we found out there's a large sector of retail sector being avoided or not exactly avoided, but not covered. And we
How
went
so?
ahead.
How so? If you could elaborate on that a little bit for me, please.
So the thing is, when you go to a organized retail outlet, you get a customized, digitized bill in a printed format, and
Mm.
there's a barcode scanner and all of that. These kind of availability of softwares or these kind of applications is not really available for the masses.
Okay. Okay. I get what you're saying.
See, these guys also have those kind of problems. They also probably would want to do that billing. They also see a lot of the businesses in India do want to have that legalized system of billing and all of that. But it's the availability of the software which is creating a hindrance.
Right.
What
Right.
we have gone ahead is we have created this entire billing that you see in a supermarket on a mobile application where you can just open the application, start scanning our codes, the EN codes, which is the barcodes there on the packets of goods and all is available on our database. You can accept digital payments and even send these receipts via digital modes like SMS, email, or WhatsApp.
Got it.
So with this, what we have been doing is we are bringing the tools that were used so far in the larger or the bigger companies to the
To
MSME
the smaller
grassroots
guys
levels.
for them to kind of use and whatnot. Um,
Exactly.
from a perspective of, say, for example, adoption of the same, what are some of the speed bumps you see from MSME sides? Where, is there like resistance? Are they open? Because I mean, now digitization is almost inevitable in a lot of ways, right? There are so many companies working towards digitizing even your smallest kirana stores and whatnot. But talk to me about the resistance that you kind of face and the speed bumps and how you decide to overcome that.
See, one of the early resistance. So there was a point of time where I sat down over a period of 1 month, 30 days, and I spoke to every customer that came across. I myself sat down to understand what are their pain points, what are the restrictions,
I'm
what
sure you would have got
exactly
a
does the
lot
market
of
need.
insight during that time where like things
Oh,
have shocked
absolutely. I
you. Yeah.
spoke to more than 1,000 people.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Okay.
I personally did that. And at that point of time, it was COVID time. So I was sitting in Germany and made those 1,000 calls from there
Right.
to understand how the users are, what they want. And that's how we came up with the invoice as a proposition.
Right.
But one of the challenges what I saw was the factor of trust.
Okay.
So MSMEs really do not trust anyone and everyone passing their information to. So that was one of the challenges. Second, bigger problem for the MSE was actually discoverability.
Yeah.
For example, if you go to any MSME retail outlet, he will not even know what to Google to get a POS billing system in his store.
Okay.
So the awareness overall is not there.
Okay. 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 This trust factor I want to ask you about a little bit. I mean, I would love it if you could elaborate on that a little bit, a little bit for me, because I'm a little curious on the same.
So a lot of people that I spoke to had the issue like, will my data be read by someone else?
Okay.
What is your
Okay.
data privacies? Okay, does anyone else have access to these kind of data? So it seems like the new age software, their willingness of adoption is there.
Right. But you got to admit they're asking the right questions. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Asking the right questions.
Absolutely. And they have all the rights to ask, because at the end of the day, this is what the data is. And as we all know, data is the new gold
Data
or
is king
oil or
now.
whatsoever
Data
you want
data
to
is the
call
new
it.
oil. Yeah, absolutely. That's well said.
So they have absolutely all the right points. And these were very valid questions.
Yeah. Say for example, I mean, spoken about it from an adoption perspective. We've also spoken about it from, resistance that you've kind of faced. But we haven't yet talked about, where you see the entire ecosystem going in the next 5 years. 10 years is too broad, I feel, to kind of look at, because the ecosystem now is changing in a matter of 2 3 years. Also, the entire space is changing. So talk to me about what you feel, or rather, how you feel things are changing, maybe in the next 5 years, and how, if somebody wants to jump on board the money making wagon to kind of, cash in at a time when an industry is ripe, what would you tell them?
See, with today's scenario, I would first and foremost not call it that there is any ripe moment, because the entire business industry is changing dynamically overnight. I would not even call it a 5 year period. And we are not in the digital bandwagon. We are not starting the bandwagon. The digitization is already happened. It's there. If you like talk about simplest of the things, your entire payment system is now digital.
Yeah.
Majority of your transactions are happening online or UPI and all.
Yeah.
Even the government has gone way more ahead in terms of their taxation structure has become digitized. So digitization is not something that is started a couple of years back. We are already there in the digital age. Okay, now the question arises is how can we make the MSMEs adapt to these digitization so that they can survive and sustain in this world?
Right.
Because those who will not be able to digitize, there'll be a major problem. So what I would I do not call it a 5 year thought process, but the immediate need of the hour is to empower the MSMEs, which actually are the backbone of our entire industry.
Mm.
Okay, because a large number of people are involved in the MSME sector, so it's very important that we make them aware of the benefits of digitization. Okay, and make them aware that these are the tools which help you grow and not your impediments.
Okay.
Again, if I have to go a year back or 2 years back, people were scared about UPI payments, online
Yeah,
payments. Now
so
everyone
true.
accepts it.
Now everyone accepts it, right? It's like what credit cards used to be back in the day. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
used to have scams and whatnot. But it's so weird. But on the day that we are actually speaking right now, I was looking at news and it was talking about. I mean, some days back, and was looking at how UPI has hit a record high in April with 5.58 billion transactions worth about
Absolutely.
9.83 trillion rupees. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
See, if you go to an MSME right now, if you tell them I need to pay by card or UPI or cash, they'll say, just give me a UPI.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the first thing that we'll see. So the digitization has already happened. People are already aware of it. Businesses are aware of it. Now we need to make this further aware and available to them as well. Both the things has to be there.
Got it.
The awareness has to be there and the availability also has to be there. And our mission, what we are working towards is creating an entire digital backbone for these. So what we're trying to bring various kind of softwares and applications all to one single storefront
In one
where
place
they
for them.
just come in. Exactly. So you just whatever you need, you tell us. If you don't have it, we'll try and get it for you.
Awesome. This is such a cool bit to kind of find out from you. But also, I want to kind of end this off by asking you what would be, I wouldn't say advice. I would call it more from a learning perspective, right? Because you've been doing this for how many years now?
For 1.5 years.
One and a
Almost.
half years. And I'm sure you've had many learnings. Talk to me about your biggest learning through these 1.5 years.
See, the biggest learning, as I said, is people are not aware. Number one, once they are aware, they are more than willing to try these things. Okay, they're more than willing to expand their businesses. They need that support to expand their businesses. That goes right from an MSME to a large scale organization to a freelancer to maybe a housewife sitting in her home and doing business. Okay, because at the end of the day, why we made our invoices free? Because everyone needs invoices to make money and everyone has the right to make money.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I think to say what you are saying in a line or two is that knowledge is really power. Am I right in saying that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what we're trying to do is create knowledge for your business.
Super. Amit, I could probably go on and on, man, with this. This is so
Yeah, I'm
interesting.
enjoying the conversation.
This is so fascinating for me personally, because what you're saying is things that we all might have come across, but might not have deep dived into in a large way. But I'm sure you guys have so much on offer, and there's just so much for you guys to kind of cover. So, from that perspective, before we let you go, is there any place that you'd like to recommend to everybody listening for them to check you out? Is a website the best way, or what's the best way to kind of contact you guys?
So we are there on the web version. Our website is imprezz.in, double Z at the end. A lot of people get confused with the SS part. So it's imprezz.in on the web. And we are also there in the Google Play Store with the same name. Okay. You can come out there, you can check in, see how it is. And I can tell you one thing, that if you come onto our thing and you build your invoices, I don't think so you'll look into any other device or any other application for sure.
I like it. Amit Mundra is, of course, been sweet enough to have and break down this so simply for us. I mean, this has been so interesting for us to kind of know. If you've been facing the challenge of digitizing an MSME, or if you know of an MSME, this looks like a great answer to it. And that's why we love telling these stories on Tech for Change. Imprezz is the name of the organization, IMPREZZ. You can look them up online, very easily Googleable. Amit, thank you so much, man. I wish you guys only the best. Here's to empowering
Thank you.
more MSMEs out there to build the next chapter of Indian growth.
94.3 Radio 1.